Welcome back, guys, to Warhammer Weekend Times. I'm your host, Stan. And today we've got a huge 3v3 field battle for y'all. Before I start this replay, though, I did want to apologize for not uploading recently. I've had a lot of stuff going on. I've had to finish finals. Unfortunately, one of my family members has been very ill, and I've had to tend to her. And I have been preparing for the Warhammer Week tournament, which you guys should be seeing pretty soon. I think we start matches in about a week, but I have a video coming out pretty soon with more about that. But anyway, guys, today let's go ahead and start getting into this 3v3. I am going to be playing as the Warriors of Khorne. My allies are going to be Sippy Sapo playing as the Vampire Counts, and way over here we have CDG Mabaroshi playing as the Chaos Dwarves. Over here we have Skaparpit playing as the Tomb Kings. We have Girahim playing as Reikland, and then we also have Jankadoodle way over here playing as Brettonia. Let's go ahead and go over the army comps, guys, and then start, because this battle does start off pretty quick. But Jankadoodle has a unit of damsels. He's also got some Pegasus Knights in the back, about 4 units of Knights Errant, a couple units of Questing Knights behind them. Over here, he's got 2 units of Field Trebuchets. He's also got a little bit of infantry. He's got 2 units of Battle Pilgrims, a couple units of Spearmen at Arms, and a couple units of Peasant Bowmen. He's also got a couple units of Cav over here. He's got 2 Grail Knights, which are amazing Cav. They have 2 HP. They inspire other units, and they are unbreakable. And then behind them, he has a couple units of Knights of the Realm. Over here for my army, I've got a couple units of Chaos Warriors with halberds. I think I got about 2 units of these. I'm bringing several units of Marauders as the bulk of my infantry. I've also got about 4 units of Chaos Warriors, a unit of Goreherd in the back, along with some other Marauders. Then over here for my Cav force, I've got about 3 units of Marauder Horsemen, a unit of Blood Crushers of Khorne, and a Skull Crushers of Khorne bodyguard as well. Over here for Sippy Sapo's army, in the back he's got a couple units of Black Knights. He's also got some Blood Dragon Knights, and then some Knights of the Black Grail over here. It looks like he's got 2 units. No, I take that back, guys. He's only got 1 unit of Cryptor. He's got some Graveguard as well, some Graveguard with halberds. And oh no, guys, I take that back. He does have 2 Cryptors. And then in front, he's got a ton of Skeleton Warriors. So he's bringing kind of a shock rush build. Over here for CDG Mabaroshi's army, let's go ahead and just send this on like a real slow speed. He's just got a smattering of Orcs and Infernal Guard. He's got a lot of Orc Spear Boys. He's definitely bringing Infernal Guard. Looks like he's got some Chaos Dwarf Crossbowmen. It's actually really hard to make out what he's got in his army. Looks like in the back he's got some Bull Centaurs. He's also got a couple units of Earthshaker Cannon, but he's just bringing a ton of infantry. You see some Black Orcs in here, some just regular Orcs. He's got some Black Orc Destroyers as well, so he's bringing a very heavy infantry-based army. Over here for Skaparpit's army, he's got some Casket Guard. Looks like he's marching up over here, and some Skeleton Warriors. He's got a vast number of those. He's got some Tomb Guard with halberds and a couple units of Mummies as well. Looks like he's got some more Tomb Guard back here, some Ushabti with great bows. Looks like he's also got a unit of Bone Giants, and then another unit of Ushabti over here. It looks like over here he's also got some Skeleton Heavy Horsemen, a couple units of these, and then I think he's got some Skeleton Horse Archers, a couple of units of these, and then another unit of Ushabti. Way over here for Girahim's army, he's also on the move. He's got some great swords. He's got some Demigryph Knights. Looks like he's got some Empire Halberdiers as well. It looks like he's also bringing in a Hellstrom Rocket Battery. 2 of these. Oh my god, he's bringing 2 Hellstrom Rocket Batteries. He's also got a couple Empire Swordsmen. Looks like he's bringing some Caribur Greatsword, some Bright Wizards, some more just Empire Swordsmen. It looks like he's got a lot of State Troops as well. He's got some Master Engineers with Hochland Long Rifles, a unit of Griffins, which it looks like his general is going to be in right here. And then in front, I think he's got some more Greatswords and his other unit of Demigryph Knights. So he's bringing some fearsome Cav. With those 2 Demigryphs, he's bringing a lot of heavy infantry as well. And I think that's everybody's armies, guys. I think I've gone over everybody's army. So let's go ahead. We'll go full speed and watch this battle unfurl. I am getting hit over here with some of the Field Trebuchet shots from Jankadoodle. I am moving up my Cav, though. My Blood Crushers of Khorne and Skull Crushers of Khorne, what's interesting about them is they don't have lances on the charge, and they have a shorter charge range, but that actually means that it's easier to get cycle charges off with them. So even though they don't charge from quite as far away, they can still they can still be absolutely murderous against infantry engagements and infantry blobs. I've got my Marauder Horsemen over here, throwing some javelins over these dams. It looks like I'm going to take out one of them. I do know they are multiple HP, and they do have just an amazing damage kind of spell effect over here. It's very similar to what the Lore Masters of Hoeth have and what the Skink Priests have. They're a lot more mobile, though. They're very good at killing giants and big units like that. It looks like Jankadoodle is going to charge in its Knights Errant over here into my Marauder Horsemen. I'm going to lose a few more of those Marauder Horsemen to those damsels. Here come my Blood Crushers of Khorne. They're going to be moving in here, doing a bunch of damage to these Knight Errants as well. I don't want this engagement. I don't want to be outnumbered like this. Blood Crushers can get stun locked, and they don't have really the best defense. I need to be careful with how I use those units. Over here we have Girahim coming up. He looks like he's going to be countering some of these Black Knights. Now, the Black Knights I believe they do have armor piercing on the lances. I don't know about the regular swords, though. They do have big swords, but I do know the Demigryph Knights definitely do have armor piercing and are multiple HP. Jankadoodle is going to come in here with his Grail Knights and do a ton of damage to my Chaos Warriors with halberds here. That's going to be really rough. I am going to sustain about half of that unit lost right there. I'm not going to trade off really well either. Going to be moving up my Marauder Horsemen over here. Going to try and reinforce some of my Marauders. Let's start slowing this down a little bit, guys, because this is getting kind of crazy. A lot of stuff is happening in a really small amount of area. So my Marauders and my Marauder Horsemen are over here hitting some of these Knights of the Realm. They are going to pull out of that engagement, though. Looks like I have my Chaos Warriors over here as well against some of these Knights of the Realm. And I'm just beginning to move my infantry up against his field trebuchets and some of his other units, but I think this may have actually been somewhat of a trap. Jankadoodle does have a lot more maneuverability than I do. I am trying to run uphill. I'm coming in. I am kind of swarming in them. I'm getting behind some of his Knights Errant, behind a lot of his cavalry, and I'm doing a lot of damage here. I am going to be moving around some of my Skull Crushers and my Blood Crushers. It looks like somebody was routing in here. It looks like some of Jankadoodle's spearmen are going to be routing, and I'm going to be kind of curving around them with my Chosen of Khorne. Looks like I might actually be trying to move them over into this engagement against the Grail Knights, and here they go. They're going to charge in here. Going to get some hits off on these Grail Knights. Not sure if I'm going to take off too many models out of this unit. But over here, it looks like Jankadoodle's going to be moving in again with some more of these Knights of the Realm. He is just hammering me with his cav. He's also engaged over here. Actually, this is all one big line. Looks like we have Sippy Sappo's engagement going on also. Oh, here we go. We got the Bright Wizards coming in, doing lots of damage to Sippy Sappo's Skeleton Warriors. Really good shot right there, doing about half of that unit. Oh, maybe not half. I don't know, maybe like a third. But that was a really good shot there. Then more fire is coming in. It is just going to be drenching Sippy's units in flames. And Jankadoodle's cav is not far away. I'm moving my Marauders around. They are shaken. I am kind of getting them a little bit far away from the engagement. It does look like Girahim is holding over here with his swordsmen and his Empire swordsmen. They are shaken, though, against these Graveguard, and it does look like some of the Cryptors have infiltrated the back lines, and Sippy is getting on those Bright Wizards. He does not want to let those Wizards do a lot of damage to his weaker infantry. That's kind of what the Vampire counts really do have, is they have cheap, unbreakable infantry that you can just throw in there and have your more valuable units kind of maneuver around. Looks like Skaparapit over here is getting engaged. I think CDG Mambaroshi, he's still way over there, and he's not really advancing. I think he's kind of just taking his time, seeing what everybody else is going to do, seeing how the battle progresses and where he can strike, although as Chaos Dwarves, I think he's just waiting for his artillery. He does not want to be without that. But it looks like Skaparapit is really moving in with a lot of those skeleton heavy horsemen. They're not going to be a match one-on-one against these Knights of the Black Rail, but a rear charge like that is going to do a lot of damage to that unit. And they're going to start, looks like they're going to start maneuvering around. Girahim still has his Hockland long rifles over here. And just look at this huge engagement. Again, let's slow this down. This is just a big battle. Go down to 30% speed. But it does look like Girahim's great swords are just cutting through some of these skeleton warriors. There are still some of these Cryptors in here. They're going to be a problem so long as they are supported by that weaker infantry. If they get outnumbered, though, they can get stun locked. Cryptors still are stun lockable units. It does look like this Empire swordsmen are routing over here. Sippy's going to be able to push through this flank and do a lot of damage, although Jankadoodle is very mobile with his cavalry right now. Look at all these Knights of the Realm. Look at all those lances and all those different standard colors. That's actually really pretty. Man, Brettonia is a cool faction. But anyway, I'm going to be trying to run my Blood Crushers around. I do not want to let them get caught up against all of this Cav. Blood Crushers, they are an amazing Cav unit, although they are, I think, 6,500 gold. But they are just better against infantry. I've really moved from this engagement over here. Jankadoodle and I both have. I've pretty much mopped up his infantry, but having all that cavalry means he can kind of move around on the battlefield as freely as he wants. And get some cycle charges in on not only me, but some other people. But it looks like I'm going to try to be moving in my Blood Crushers of Khorne. Let's see if I'm going to get a nice charge in here against these Empire Halberdiers. I'm going to get a rear charge and going to do a lot of damage to them. But it's I got to be careful because here comes the Knights of the Realm, and it sounds like some Hellstorm rocket batteries are actually going off. It does look like they're going to actually friendly fire some of those great swords. They're pretty far off. It does look like a lot of them actually hitting the ground over there. Some Dire Wolves are in this engagement over here. It looks like they're going to be doing some damage against these Carroburg Greatswords. Dire Wolves are one of those units that can really get a lot of kills if they get... Oh my god, they're going to get roasted though by the Hellstorm Rocket Battery. That entire unit of Dire Wolves almost completely destroyed. They are very good at flanking against enemy Cav. They're also extremely good at shutting down enemy skirmisher units, but they just got rocket batteried there really hard. I do still have some of my Blood Crushers. They're really out in a loose formation. They are kind of moving around, and I think finally we have CDG Mambaroshi starting to move up very slow. Actually, no, he looks like he's in high gear. But he is really fresh with his army. He does still have his 2 Earthshaker cannons, and hopefully we'll see those in the engagement very soon. Skaparpit has kind of left a little bit of a fox force over here. I'm not really sure if that's just to kind of hold off his army or not, or maybe just to buy his army some time, or their forces some time. It is getting pretty chaotic over here, though. It does look like Skaparpit is over here with Jankadoodle and my Blood Crushers. And they're just getting chased. They are in the wrong place right now. Sippy Sapo with his Knights of the Black Grail and his Cryptors are chasing after some of these Knights of the these Grail Knights. Knights of the Black Grail and Grail Knights. That is easy to get mixed up. But let's see, Sippy is going to be moving up some of his Graveguard Halberdiers. Does look like he still have kind of a mass of infantry of Marauders and Chaos Warriors. I want to be careful with this, though. It does look like I did just lose a few to a really well-placed Hellstorm rocket battery shot. Looks like some Blood Dragon Knights are going to be charging in here against some of the Knights Errant, but Jankadoodle is going to be retracting them very quickly. Things are starting to spread out now. And that's actually going to be good for Jankadoodle. He can start picking on targets if he wants. I'm trying to tie his units down as best I can. I'm going to need to stay kind of close to Sippy's units, too. He has the Cav that I don't have right now. All my Marauders at this point are pretty much dead. Or my Marauder Horsemen, for that matter, are pretty much dead. It does look like, actually, Janka has some Bowmen over here, too. Some Skirmisher Fire would really be good in this engagement, because it's mostly just Cav and melee units at this point, just tons and tons of units just tearing at each other. But everybody's getting kind of spread out now. You can see Jankadoodle starting to mop up some of these other units. Now, the Blood Dragon Knights, they can do pretty good in engagements like this, and it looks like Sippy is going to have an opportunity to actually kind of flank with these Cryptors. If he gets a good charge in here, he can do a lot of damage to these Questing Knights. It looks like he's going to get the charge off. He's going to kill a couple of Questing Knights. I don't know if he's going to kill any of the Knights of the Realm. I'm not sure if any Grail Knights are in here. Yeah, a couple of Grail Knights are in here, too. So this is going to be a rough engagement for Sippy, even though he has the support of his Cryptors and the Blood Dragon Knights. Although some more units coming in, this might really kind of turn the tide for this small engagement. Let's kind of look and see what's going on over here. It looks like the Shabti with great bows or Skaparpit's Uchopti with great bows. It looks like he's going to start taking aim at some units over here. Let's see, he's going to be firing. They're so hard to follow the trails of those shots, but you can kind of see they shot this kind of line of orcs and it shot all the way through. It's easy to miss if you're not looking for it, but yeah, you see some of the illuminating shots over here from the Chaos Dwarf crossbowmen and the Infernal Guard with Fire Glaives are finally starting to get engaged. CDG Mambaroshi is taking his time. He'd probably be a very good siege player. That's what you want to do in sieges. You want to take your time. You don't want to rush too quickly in, but in field battles, usually you want to get in there and help your buddies out. I think overall we kind of have lost the engagement between me and Sippy. Skaparpit has kind of He's still got a lot of forces left over here, and I think Jankadoodle's cab mobility is really kind of is doing a lot for him. Although the Grail Knights over here are seeming to have a little bit of trouble with the Knights of the Black Grail. The Peasant Bowmen are not doing much. They're caught in melee. Looks like here come the Pegasus Knights coming in. Oh, but they're gonna get kind of countered there by the Cryptors. Those Cryptors are gonna grab those Pegasus Knights and just drag them to the ground. That was really brutal. I'm sure the Graveguard Halberdier helped a lot. There is one Pegasus Knight left, but probably not for long unless he just pulls out. Yeah, he's gonna pull out right there. Now I do have some forces over here. I'm not sure what I'm doing with them. I'm just kind of sending over some of my units over here, but I'm not moving my Chaos Warrior. I should be, because there's a lot of Chaos Warriors over here still left. It does look like Jankadoodle does have a few units still over here, and I think he's trying to get back on his trebuchets. Yeah, he's already got back on his trebuchets, which this late in the game. Oh, this might be pretty good. No, it was not. That was a bad shot. But look, that's a really good illustrator of how far those trebuchets can shoot. They're way over there in the forest. So their shots definitely can carry. The Ushabti with great bows are still going to be firing in. Oh, that was a really nice volley coming in from those Chaos Dwarf crossbowmen. And here we go. They are going to be firing in consistently. Now, I don't think that the Earthshaker cannons are in range. You know what? They may be in range. I see a couple dead dwarfs over here. I don't... Yeah, it looks like maybe they're taking some residual shots from those Ushabti with great bows. I don't know if they have a direct shot on the on that artillery crew, or if they're just kind of overfiring. But it does look like CDG Mabaroshi is finally sending in a lot of his infantry. The Ushabti with great bows are getting peppered down. They're getting peppered down pretty hard by those Chaos Dwarf crossbowmen, and I'm sure by those Infernal Guard if they have range. But he's going to be moving in. He's got a lot of units left. Now, Skaparpit has a lot of units left too, but I don't know. I think Skaparpit has spent a little more time investing in helping out his allies. Jankadoodle and Girhim, I don't think they have too much left. I'm not sure really what happened to a lot of Girhim's cavalry. It probably got chewed up by some of Sippy Sappo's heavier units, but again, I kind of just missed out on that. It does look like, oh my god, okay, here we go. So I've sent up my Warriors of Khorne and some of my Chaos Warriors over here to fight against Skaparpit's forces. And now he's got Bone Giants, and this is bad. I may have neglected to mention that he had Bone Giants at the beginning of the battle. Thinking back, I'm not sure. But anyway, he has Bone Giants, in case I neglected to mention that. Okay, there was the Earthshaker cannon going off right there, knocking over like half my dudes. There's another shot going over there, knocking over a lot of my dudes. I'm taking a lot of brunt from these Earthshaker cannons, probably more so than Skaparpit is right now, but they sure are neat to see go off. You saw my guys kind of get thrown around like that. They're already fighting against Ushabti and Bone Giants, so they're probably due for a rout pretty soon, but let's see if we can witness another one of these guys getting shot off and see if we have any really pretty shots. Artillery in Call of Warhammer has just this feel to it. It's very powerful, but it's very risk-reward. Usually, if you have any infantry in the area with one of these heavier, powerful artillery units, you're running the chance of just friendly firing the crap out of them. Here comes a really good shot here. That's going to do a bunch of damage to Skaparpit's force. Actually, it didn't throw up a bunch of them. I'm not quite sure why. It might be because maybe they're in shield wall formation, and that helps prevent them from getting thrown about like that. But anyway, my units are just getting mollywopped by those Bone Giants. I think a lot of them have routed as well. But those Bone Giants are going to be the death of whatever infantry blob I have left. It looks like Sippy Sappo still have some Greyguard Halberdiers. Skaparpit's got all of these skeleton heavy skeleton heavy horsemen left. And they are moving about. He's got a lot of Ushabti left, which will be really good at routing these orcs, which is a lot of what Skaparpit CDG Mabaroshi has. So Skaparpit's Ushabti should be really instrumental in routing them. Not just that, but the fact that a lot of almost all of Skaparpit's units are unbreakable. And he's also got the Tomb Swarm, which are really good at tying up other units. But CDG Mabaroshi, he might just have the numbers on this. He does have the Bull Centaurs which are moving in over here. Looks like they're going to get some good counters in against these skeleton heavy horsemen. They're actually going to go. A couple of them are going to go down there, but those heavy horsemen are going to suffer. Oh my God! They're getting shot up right there by the Infernal Guard with fire glaives. That's not what you want to see with your cavalry. You want to be really careful. Another shot going. Oh man! Wow. Okay, yeah, that's rough right there for Skaparpit. The skeleton heavy horseman. He's nearly lost almost this entire blob of them. I look at all these guys who've just been shot to pieces. So he's still pursuing the bull centaurs, though. There's not many left. Not many bull centaurs left, but there's not many of his horsemen left either. And CGG Mabaroshi is pushing up with some Infernal Guard, and it's gonna kind of scurry them out of the way. They're probably not gonna be too much of an issue for him at this point. Ushabti are coming in, fighting against the Orc Spear Boys. It looks like another artillery shot coming in. That's going to do a bunch of damage to the orcs over here. Looks like Mabaroshi's also flanking around against some of these Ushabtis. If he can get his Bone Giants in here, he should be able to do a serious amount of damage. Ushabti with Great Bows are going to be firing in. I don't see the Bone Giants, though. I'm not sure where they are. But as soon as he gets those guys in the... Yeah, here they are. They're still around. They are... looks like they're chewing through some of these Black Orc Destroyers. They're going to rout. Ushabtis are starting to push through over here. It looks like the Graveguard Halberdier with Sibi Sapo's army is still alive. I think that's all he's got left. He does not have much. Now he's starting to move his Ushabti up. If he can push a chain route, Skaparpit might pull ahead in this, because I don't know. Now looking back at this, he's got a lot left. CDG Mabaroshi's got a lot left. It's gonna be pretty hard if he can push a chain route. It's going to change the tide. He's gonna be down a lot of these major orc units, and that's going to pull away a lot of his weaker units are going to get, frightened. They're going to get scared away. We are seeing some units that we didn't get to see earlier in CDG Mabaroshi's army, however, like the Orc Error Boys, some archers that are actually going to supplement a lot of the range units. He's bringing archers, crossbows, and guns, so he's bringing in a lot of versatility in terms of range. He's also got the artillery, so this is very, very interesting Chaos Dwarf build. Friendly fire shot coming in, doing a bunch of damage to his own line. A lot of these guys are going to get back up, though. Some of them are not, but again, that kind of reiterates the risk-reward factor that you see with the artillery in Call of Warhammer. Another shot coming through, almost hitting these Bone Giants. That was a very, very close call. They're going to be moving in, though, against the backs of these goblins. Here they go, guys. They're going to just start ripping through these goblin spears, and that's going to be it pretty much for these goblin spears. They're going to rout pretty soon. If these Ushabti move in a little closer, that's probably going to be enough. No, they're getting steadier, and it may just be from the reinforcing Infernal Guard. A shot coming in from that. Oh my God! It's going to kill both of the Bone Giants there. It's going to kill a lot of the Ushabtis. That's going to be it. That's going to be the game-defining shot right there with that artillery and those two Earthshaker cannons, just killing both of the Bone Giants in a shot like that. They probably were pretty low on HP. I think they were taking quite a few shots from the Infernal Guard with fire glaives. But that is still, excuse me, guys, an impressive sight to see. Just cut down in the prime. But that's going to kind of seal the deal for Skaparpit there. I think he had a little bit of a chance. Sippy Sapo did have some cavalry still left over. He might have been a little, maybe used those a little differently. Maybe gone around and maybe charged against some of these. Excuse me, guys. Earthshaker cannons. Very late in the morning here. Against the Earthshaker cannons, and maybe could have silenced them. But honestly, Mabaroshi had so much left. Oh, actually, I take that back. Sippy Sapo, I don't know why I thought... I'm sorry, guys. For some reason, I thought Sippy Sapo and Skaparpit were on the same team for a little bit at the end there. They definitely were not. Excuse me. But anyway, guys, that's really embarrassing. Let's take a look at my army kills. I got the least out of everybody. My Skull Crushers got 82 kills. My Blood Crushers of Khorne got 164. It's not terrible. These are an expensive unit, but I was up against Brettonia, and they typically don't do that well against Cow Force. My Khorne build I brought today was probably a little bit better against more infantry-focused armies. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that. There's definitely more Call of Warhammer stuff coming soon, especially now that the semester is over. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys very soon.